Welcome to a world of thrills, a world of drama, of capes and tights, a world where death is a revolving door. Welcome to the Geek Matrix. Yes, hello, welcome to the Geek Matrix bonus review show number 160.
No, it's
180.
like obviously it's
4,170.
180, yes.
180, okay.
Or 4,536.
Oh, okay. I thought it was only 4,100.
Nope.
That's 500. All right.
Yeah, because I only changed the last number, so
Yeah.
there we go.
We're not counting in the 100th percentile.
Oh, God.
Yeah, 100%.
Only
Are you gonna
column.
actually our own continuity, our own show?
I'm actually myself. I'm making actually very meta, okay?
Oh my God.
Yes. So yes, I'm Rob. Hear me roar. Hello. My roar is not your typical roar. It doesn't sound like roar. It sounds like in brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight, etc.
It's a very wordy roar.
It is. It takes a long time sometimes.
Roar even.
Oh, Snagglepuss, what did you get here? Yeah, you did Snagglepuss, and I instantly thought of the Cowardly Lion. I don't know why I get those voices mixed up in my head.
I didn't do a very good Snagglepuss.
You did better than I do. Because if I do it, I just sound like the Cowardly Lion. Yeah. But yeah, we're here. Brandon and Josh are here. Sound off, boys.
Hello.
Yeah, it's been a long Thursday. I'm freaking tired, so like this is going to be a very touch and go episode, maybe.
Are we gonna die?
Oh no!
I hope not.
I don't want to die.
Not yet.
Not yet. Definitely not yet. Cutting me off before my time. Don't do that. Don't do that.
All right, so to quote Cody Rhodes, what do y'all want to talk about?
Maybe comics, maybe not. Maybe talk about costumes some more. I'm sure we can figure something out.
We could talk about more Kyle Rayner costumes.
We could, I'm sure.
There's nothing better than the original 90s.
That's
Hands
true.
down. It's just
for Kyle though,
so
right?
Good. Huh?
You're talking about for Kyle though, not in general.
Yes.
Okay.
Not in general, no.
Yeah.
No. And by the way, I fucking love the Lobo in that Green Lantern 55.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Nay, I'll say I'm shocked that Doug Mankey's never done a Lobo book before.
He needs to.
I feel like he has to have. I got to look this up. I'm not going to derail the show.
That many Lobo books.
Yeah, well, most of it, like the '90s series, was Alan Grant and Simon Bisley, and I don't know who did it after that, but like it just feels like such an obvious choice. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe one day.
Maybe.
Josh will just have to rate
that
it.
That will be the book that Josh writes for Black Lobo. Be Lobo Unchained.
Oh, I like it.
Ooh. I like it too. Sounds
Unchained because it will be disgusting and filthy and just like the grossest book you've ever read. But it'll be perfect because it's Lobo and it'll be drawn by Doug Mankey. So it'll be so fitting. And I will read that book in a heartbeat.
All I ask Josh, and I only ask this because I basically like connect them in my mind forever now. Include Guy Gardner for one issue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's all I ask.
I will, but it'll be mostly comic relief.
That's fine. That's all Guy needs to be in a Lobo book.
Okay, I'll do it, but I want to have it drawn by Sarah Beatty and co-write it with Tim Sale.
Holy crap!
I'm just like imagine the book and all of the art looks like this. The panel I just sent in Discord.
That'd be so.
Would that
good.
not be perfect?
Hell,
So I need you to do that.
Yeah. I don't know if I can get Doug Mankey to work on a book with me, but like, by George,
I want to see it.
give
I
it
wanna
the
see
old
it.
college try.
Yep.
I would say that Lobo gets delivered a vial of a tiny glass vial, and it's just got one drop of blood in it. In it is Zarnian, and he knows it. It's not his, and it's his familial blood, so he knows it's not Crutch's, but it is Zarnian. So he has to go and find out who the fuck it is because he's got a reputation to uphold as being the last Zarnian. And he goes out across the galaxy searching for the person who sent this and the person whose blood that belongs to. And shit gets wicked vicious.
I like it.
I want to
like
see.
it a
I
lot.
want to see how depraved.
That's just off the top of my head.
That's all I want.
You want to see how depraved I can
I
get?
want to see. I want to see how depraved and freaky it'll be. Because if it's with Doug Mankey,
Wait, hold on a second. Yeah.
That's why I think Unchained would be a perfect title, and you can go nuts.
Yeah.
Do anything, you know. I would read
Absolutely.
the shit
Yeah,
out of that book if you wrote that.
I'll have to drop Sarah Beatty and just do this with Tim Sale though.
On a scale of Hellblazer to the boys, how fucked up are you gonna get?
Like beyond the boys, like beyond Herogasm.
No, I wouldn't have people walking into the head of other people's penises.
Maybe like
that's not something that
I mean,
you can at least have like
as
really
long as they don't
exaggerated
sneeze
stuff.
and grow unexpectedly, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
Are you thinking more like the area of Preacher?
Yeah, just like
yeah,
I don't know, like hyper gory or something, you know.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
like the area of Preacher would end up being what I could do, but I could also easily do one without the gore.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm writing a movie with let's see, we've got until July, and then we're trading our scripts back and forth. But we're Isaiah and I are kind of sort of working on a movie together.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Right.
Horror, I take it.
Yes.
Right on.
So I've got
nothing less.
I've got two different versions of the story, like one with gore and like one with bad gore and one without gore at all. I kind of went for the without gore or without much gore. And then Isaiah's like gore. So I wrote two different versions.
I don't even really like gore, but you know, I think if you're doing a book like that, it has to be very gory.
Yeah. I think it needs to be.
Agreed. We'll see what happens with the Lobo things, guys.
Yeah.
But we also have Outsiders, Action Comics, and Titans to talk about.
Yes. But do you want to bring up our two honorable mentions first?
We got Wesley Dodds, the Sandman #4. The story is good. I would say it's a little better than your average Robert Venditti book. But the art, man, every time I see it, I'm like, this is why I don't draw. I wouldn't want anyone to see something this bad. In any case, the Sandman's nightmares continue in this one, or nightmare continues, I suppose. I don't want to grade it because Rosmo's art would skew it far too much for me. But I'll give it a thank goodness there's a good writer on board out of 10.
Fair enough.
And then Fables #161, The Black Forest, is almost done. It has been such a great story. I don't know if you guys have been reading it. I don't think you have.
I've never read Fables.
No, I haven't.
That breaks my heart so much, dude.
I don't know. It's one of those things where I looked at it and it was 150 50-something issues, and I was like, nope. It's like,
It-
I'll read Why the
Fables-
Last Man instead.
Well, Why the Last Man? Yeah,
Yeah,
a
that's
fantastic
fair.
story, dude.
Yeah.
But, like, you could get like the whole thing, whatever, of Fables, and it's just something you would pick up and read like 4 issues of, because you like the story is good, and then set it down, and it'll
Mm.
be just like something you read in your off time, and I'm telling you, you will really enjoy it.
Yeah. Maybe one of
But
these days.
you can jump in 11 issues ago and pick up from there. You do not need to read the first 150 issues of
I was
Fables.
gonna
You
say,
don't.
do you
You-
remember all that shit?
No, God, no. But the Black Forest is almost done. It's got 1 issue left, and then Fables is over. You need to go get Lost in the Woods. It's been great, dude. I give it an 8.5 out of 10 for
It's
sure.
good.
Right on.
For sure.
Well, I'm trusting your judgment on Underworld Unleashed first, and if you're wrong, then I'm never reading Fables.
You should, regardless, you should check out Fables. Our tastes are a little more closely aligned when it's indie kind of stories, even if this is owned by DC. But
Yeah, so I have a question though. That Black Forest, is it outside?
what?
Is the forest is it outside?
Yes.
So the people in the forest, they'd be outsiders.
I knew where you were going with
Brandon caught that right away. Come on, Josh, don't fuck up my only transition of the year.
You're trying, and that's
it
really
works. It works. Outsiders #3, written by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. Art from Robert Carey. Colors by Valentina Taddeo. I can't read that. I need my glasses. Letter from Tom Napolitano, and the cover came from Roger Cruz and Adriano Lucas. So Luke and Kate are on the carrier as they walk through a magic door. On the other side, they land in a weird labyrinthine version of Wayne Manor. Batwoman warns Luke not to get separated, which happens fucking immediately as soon as she finishes saying the sentence. He finds himself getting warned by a Batman, of which there are many, that he doesn't belong there. Over with Kate, she's surrounded by Batwomen, who are really just Batmen, apparently. The Council of Batman, or whatever it is you want to call them all, are attacked by Duke Thomas in his Batman armor, and he kills some. Batwoman shows up and sneaks an uppercut in that lays him the fuck out. The Batmen then give Luke a grappling hook, and him and Kate are whisked back to their home on the carrier to be met by Drummer. Later, we see Drummer reading a book that talks about Luke and how he's doing well, but that Kate is already having dreams of bats.
I cannot pay attention to a word you're saying. I'm so distracted by Rob's lantern. I just looked up and you were like flashing it in your face.
Yes.
Like,
Pay attention to it.
I wasn't trying to distract you. I was just trying to have fun.
It is mesmerizing.
Yeah.
I got it like for a Christmas ornament, the Christmas tree ornament. It is fucking
that's
dope.
so perfect.
It is actually really cool.
That is cool.
And next, like a couple years ago, Hallmark released this ornament, just a miniature Hal Jordan. So next year, I want to have it so they're like next to each other like this.
I feel like you got to get a lantern as the star on your tree, or is that too much?
I've tried. I've asked Angela, and I've even asked for like, because you can get a Death Star tree topper. And like I asked Andrew's like, no, we have to get the Hogwarts castle. I'm like, but
wait. Have you already got the Hogwarts castle?
No, we don't have any tree topper yet. Like we have a tree topper, but not a geeky one. It's a stupid star.
Right, because you could like find a big Green Lantern one and paint it gold if the problem is it's not Christmassy enough.
I mean,
because there's a gold lantern. I don't know how opposed you would be to using it.
Is that really what you want to?
I don't mind the idea of the gold lantern. Like the whole emotion is happiness, and like we're happy at Christmas, so it makes sense.
I was gonna say, do you really want to be reminded of that Legion storyline? But
Just the idea of
I
the Gold
just-
Lantern.
I choose to forget the Legion story and choose to remember only the Gold Lantern.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Selective memory can be nice.
The man of great ideas.
Idea of the Gold Lantern, because I didn't really care for the character, and I don't really understand why he was blind.
Yeah.
But I like the
He was
Gold
just
Lantern
blind.
concept.
He was blind because he was blind.
I mean, he had no eyes.
That's just the way he was born.
But it's like I'm thinking like Rotlop fan.
Roll-up fan.
The
Rotlop
F sharp
fan.
bell
Yes. Communicates through
sound.
Yeah.
We communicate through sound.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but we also have eyes.
Yeah. He primarily
Rotlop fan didn't.
only communicates through sound, not primarily because he doesn't
Yeah.
have eyes.
Yeah. It's like even just like sight. It's all sonar based if I remember right.
Mhm.
But anyway.
Outsiders.
Yes, that's
I
what we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I guess we'll just have to see where this one leads. I'm a little confused. I had a great time on the first two, and this feels like a setup. I just hope that it comes quick and not like something that gets dangled on. So this one felt a little less for me, not in the art. The art was fantastic. It was less in the story. Maybe because I've seen my fair share of groups of Batmen lately, and the idea is a little worn out on me. Not a bad issue. It looks great. Story's just not where the first two were. 7 out of 10.
I need to I need to leave. Because I just said outsiders, and I
You
feel
said
like-
you.
I
you
feel
said you.
dirty.
Outsiders.
I don't know if you caught that. I said it. And I
What's
was
that
like,
all
oh my-
about?
What just
Brandon?
happened? Where
Next
did
you'll
that come
be
from?
next you'll be saying favorite with a U and great
I
with
was-
an E.
Oh my! Well, no, that keeps
Yeah, I do agree
happening
with
for
an
some
E.
reason because I have like on your phone like you'll have it can change. I don't know if you have an iPhone, but like sometimes it can change the language or whatever. So I have it set just at the standard US one, but sometimes it auto changes to like the UK version, and it'll try and correct when I say like, oh, my favorite is whatever. It'll try and correct it, auto correct it to favor it, and I hate it.
See, I get the
gross.
opposite because
Yeah.
I type it the right way and it autocorrects it
The
without the
right
U.
way. Oh, here we go.
You know how you can go into your iPhone and like have your swipe set and then, like the wrong word keeps popping up, right?
Yeah.
And you can hit that fucking button and then type in whatever it is it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
I had a buddy that it was a coworker. I had a coworker that did it to another coworker of mine that grabbed his phone at fucking lunchtime and went through and did a whole bunch of like common words. Like if he wrote it came up fuck.
I always wanted to do something like that.
He
really
did it
screw
for like
something.
he did it for like an hour, so he covered a very
Oh my God.
large round of words.
You could
It
just be
was-
saying like oh, I'm going home, and it's like ass.
right?
It's just like,
This is
you
like,
know.
I'm as the kitty.
Oh,
This is
that's genius.
fun times.
That's awesome.
Anyway, outsiders.
It's the
Not
outsiders.
outsiders. No, another
Wanna drink some
solid
whiskey,
issue.
sir?
I
Maple whiskey.
yes, I can agree that like I understand. I talked about it with last month's issue that the whole like episodic format and its kind of emphasis on not really tackling the main story right now might be a little off-putting, but I still really enjoy it. And this was just like a fun like mystery / horror kind of issue, and I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. I still don't really know much about this artist, Robert Carey. I have like no idea where he came from, but it's just there's something about his art. Like it's not even that it's technically really impressive, but there's something about it that just has like a really interesting, like alluring quality that I just really dig. So I gotta like dig up more information on this guy. I gotta stalk him for a little bit, find out where he came from. 'Cause I really like the art.
I
of
don't
this.
know, because you're right. The art is really, really, really good, and
Mhm.
fucking Taddeo, or how do you say your last name?
Tadeo. I'm not sure.
Tadeo. Her colors set that shit off like fire, dude. And it's amazing. Actually, going back and looking at it, I'm going to raise Outsiders to a 7.5.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like all the different variations of.
Wait, I thought you gave it an
Batman.
8.5.
I gave it a 7 point. I gave it a 7.
Oh.
Anyway, you were saying?
No, yeah, just all the different variations of Batman. Like it, I don't know, something about it. It just had like this really interesting look, even if everyone wasn't drawn perfectly or something. I don't have the right words for it, but there's something about it that's really resonating with me. So I gave this an 8 out of 10. Like I really dug it. Looking forward to the next issue.
So I wanted to ask, because you had a theory last issue, Brandon, that the run of Outsiders at Kelly and Lansing were basically following Planetary for storylines. Planetary number 3, was it anything like this? I just wanted to know if that theory is still
no. That was this one is slightly different. That one was like, if I remember correctly, basically the way I think of it is like it's the Spectre issue. They're kind of doing an homage to Spectre, but it's more than that. It's more like because they go to, I think it's Shanghai, and then they end up meeting this cop who got resurrected after he was killed, i.e. like the Spectre.
Oh yeah.
And are investigating him haunting various parts of Shanghai, or it might be Hong Kong. I don't remember. But no, this issue is where it deviates, but it's like I said, it's following the same format of episodic storytelling until eventually it, has its big story changing reveals later on.
Mm-hmm.
And you get hints of that towards the end where it's more references to the guide and all that stuff.
Yeah, seems to be the drummer has something a little bit bigger in store. Going forward, so that's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed this issue. The last issue was kind of a little faulty for like faltered a little bit for me, but this issue put it back on track for me. It was very interesting. You basically have the Marvel has the Council of Blank, and this is basically the Council of Batman, which I thought was kind of interesting.
That's what I called it.
Oh, was that what you called it? Oh, shit.
That's what I called it. Yeah.
I missed that. Yeah.
Back when you were playing with your Green Lantern toy and Brandon was mesmerized by it. Fucking Count Vertigo.
What the fuck was I saying now? It's Council of Batmans. Yeah, and just the surprise appearance / return of Duke Thomas from the Dark Multiverse, like that was pretty cool. I really liked that aspect. So it was a fun issue. It was very interesting. It's especially if you like Batman, this is going to be a fun issue for you. And just the Kate and Luke dealing with stuff was like basically like learning about themselves in the process was very, very interesting. I liked it. The art was quite good. It feels like there was so many layers to this issue that I'm too tired to really uncover right now. Like there's a lot of hidden messages almost about the Bat family throughout the dialogue here that I feel like Kelly and Lansing have hidden within that I just have yet to uncover. And there's that excitement is what's really getting it for me.
Batwoman's thing has always kind of been, she's Batwoman, but she's not a bat.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of
disconnected from the family. Yeah. Well, at least
I mean, like in her personal opinion, like she's made it so that she's not a bat. You know, she doesn't fall underneath Bruce's purview, but now she's dreaming of bats, and she runs in this story and finds a whole room full of Batwomen saying, well, aren't we really just Batman?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we're gonna get a deep dive into all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm actually kind of cool with. I'm interested in seeing where that goes.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was a really interesting take on everything, really. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. 8.75 maybe. It was really, really solid. You look like you have something to say.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, it was something else. Something just
Oh,
came
okay.
across my screen.
No worries. All right. Now I guess that brings us to Action Comics. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought we'd already did that. No,
Well,
Action Comics
it's
1061.
fitting. It's fitting that I should be
We all
smiling
just
and
had it in
laughing.
our top 3.
That's
I
true.
think that's why.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's fitting that I should be smiling and laughing because I don't know. I found this issue very entertaining in a way.
Yeah. Me too.
But this is Action Comics 1061. Thank you for the transition, Rob. The start of a little mini arc, not even really a run, from none other than Mr. Jason Aaron of Marvel fame, years of Marvel fame.
Is it just how many issues is it? Like 2?
Just 3, I think.
3.
Three,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good.
And then the other guy takes over that one. But that's not for a couple months, so we'll avoid talking about that. But yes, this is written by Jason Aaron with art from John Timms, colors from Rex Locus. Good to see him again. Letters from Dave Sharp, and a cover from also John Timms, and presumably also colors from Rex Locus. They don't say. But our story starts in Xerox, also known as the Sorcerer's World.
Not that Xerox.
Yeah.
Also known as the Copy Planet.
Also
I
known as the Copy Planet.
I
Well,
even
that's
read
what
that
it
as
is.
Xerox.
Xerox, however you want to say it. A place well known to magic users and sorcerers and all that stuff.
And readers usually of that Lantern Run that shall not be named.
Yeah.
Why do you guys keep on bringing up shit?
I vaguely remember what you're talking about.
Up old shit.
I don't recall that. Anyway, normally a place where people come to train and learn, but presently is being disrupted by a very, and this is where I start getting confused because I consider myself a decently intelligent guy, but admittedly, when it comes to Bizarro speak, I'm fucking lost every time.
So complicated.
I'm
because it goes back and forth.
They say it's supposed to be whatever Bizarro is saying. It's supposed to be the opposite, but sometimes I'm like, okay, wait. If it's the opposite, then that means he's saying this, but his actions indicate the opposite. I don't know. I just get fucked. And this is not a bit. I'm genuinely. There are moments where I'm like, what the fuck is he trying to say? But anyway, a very presumably angry Bizarro is making his way through Xerox, however you want to pronounce it, and he's just kind of lost. Looking for a way to get back to Bizarro Worlds, even though he's momentarily forgotten it and all that stuff. The magic users are having none of it, and so they end up just blasting Bizarro with everything they have. But Bizarro, being the opposite of Superman, is not affected by magic in the way that Superman would be, and so he ends up being amped up by all the power that they throw at him, leaving him looking very scary and menacing. We cut over to Metropolis roughly 6 weeks later, where the Man of Steel is going through his daily motions, but notices a Bizarro that is floating above the clouds and feels a little bit weird around him, seeing that he's a little bit more confident and assured than Bizarro normally is. Before Superman even tries to negotiate with him and try and bring him back down to Earth without engaging a fight, Bizarro immediately thumps him away, all the way to Venus, I guess. And before Superman could even get his breath in, Bizarro was already charging at him and basically just whips him around the universe before they crash land on Pluto. And that's when Superman first notices that Bizarro's power really has been amped up, and he's using magic in a way that, frankly, should not be possible for Bizarro. We cut back to Metropolis, where some dark clouds begin to swarm, and some Metropolis reporters are queuing in on everything that's happening between the fight of Superman and Bizarro. We also see Lois and Jimmy looking in on everything, and Lois is one of the people that notices that Bizarro is using magic, making this fight a little bit different than all their other fights, where Bizarro is possessing a power that he should not have access to. But using a number of artifacts that he's seemingly lifted from Xerox, Bizarro is able to use a spell and basically like kind of dissolves himself to the point where he just kind of vanishes away and fades away. And then Superman is sort of left kind of confused, but it sounds like, Bizarro was almost upset at the end, and it's clear that he's upset about losing his world and everything. But that's when he notices that people are starting to feel a little bit weird or are exhibiting weird behavior. And all across Metropolis, people are slowly becoming more and more Bizarro-like. And even Lois Lane falls under the spell of Bizarro as the entire city, presumably of Metropolis, but maybe even the world as well, has been turned into Bizarros. And that is the start of our arc. I don't know. Okay.
This is great.
I
I
know
am so happy.
We were moaning, right? Because Philip Kennedy Johnson left the book, and I'm still mad about that. I'm still upset about that. But like, I'm not gonna lie, like there was something just so fun and charming about having a Bizarro arc, and it was written so well and with such a slightly lighthearted tone, but also with such an earnest tone that like right from the jump I was like, yeah, I'm really into this, like as just like a fun little Superman arc. So
it was a different kind of Bizarro story too. Not just definitely the same old shit. And
no,
it's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. And I was particularly curious about this thing that they were hinting at, that Bizarro world had seemingly vanished and he was just kind of lost. He truly was the last son of his own world, if you will. And now he's just trying to get back to what he knows, which is a world of Bizarros. So yeah, I think Josh is right. Like it's not your typical Bizarro story where he's like, oh, he's just kind of fumbling around and then Superman knocks the shit out of him and I don't know, then
everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine, I guess. Like, no, this one actually had an interesting twist at the end where it's like he's turning the whole world into a Bizarro world, and I was like sold. So I really like this one, and the art.
Now, do you think that Bizarro is still alive now?
Yes,
when he said
I think
goodbye.
So, yeah. Yes, I think he either ported somewhere else after he completed his spell, or is maybe. And this is the part that I wasn't really sure.
Lois calls Clark Bizarro 1.
Well, that's the thing. I was like, either he ported away, or when he did his spell, it's like he basically spelled away his physical body, but is now like reincarnating or manifesting himself in Superman. Something like
everywhere
it's like
else.
Taking over his consciousness, basically.
Yeah, he's like he like Starroed and then Garrowed, but now it's Bizarroed.
Basically. Bizarro.
Yeah.
It sounds like a very dated comedy movie.
Starroed, Garrowed, and Bizarroed.
Exactly.
It doesn't sound like a dating comedy, but it does sound like a movie. Stop it, Brandon. That's just wrong.
Are you telling me to stop it, or are you telling me to do it more because you're doing Bizarro speak right now? I can't tell.
I'm going to keep that a secret. All right. Let's see. What did you finish giving your review, Brandon?
Oh, yeah. No, that was pretty much all I had to say. But no, I gave this a 9 out of 10. Like, I just really dug it.
Right on. I mean, like I kept interrupting Brandon about, it's a different kind of Bizarro story. It's really interesting. He goes out of his way to make sure that he is the exact opposite of Superman. He's really pissed at Superman. I I can't wait to see what happens next. I'll be pretty happy too, considering how great the art looks in this issue. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
I am pleasantly surprised and very happy about this issue. Very pleasantly surprised. Like,
Yeah, you're not alone.
Yeah, I was going into this issue with good expectations, not high, because Jason Aaron in the past has been hit or miss for me, but I was excited about it, and I was going in with good hopes, good expectations, and certainly was not disappointed. The art really good. The story, like you guys basically already said it. Bizarro stories are also already hit or miss, but this is a really good Bizarro story.
At least the setup for one.
Yeah, and I love the idea. I don't know how well it's been explored, if it's ever been explored before, but the concept of, and it was basically brought up by Mark Waid earlier with the last issue of Shazam, that they're basically just the opposite. That Shazam, or the Captain's strengths is Bizarro Captain's weaknesses. So it makes sense, that Bizarro would be basically invulnerable to magic. And very adept at it, which I did not expect, but that's a nice touch. So, like I said, I don't know if anybody's ever explored that, but it's fucking ingenious in my book. That's basically the whole issue. Xerox was not a planet I expected to ever see again. I'm not against it because I Xerox. I thought Xerox was an interesting idea. And I, as much as that Green Lantern run was a shamble, I really liked that aspect of it, and that idea that was brought, and the connection to the Starheart potentially. So I hope that all gets to be explored a bit more one day, because that is an interesting concept, the Xerox. So the issue I will give an 8.75 out of 10.
Nice.
Right on, man.
It was weird there was no backup. Really weird.
It's okay there was no backup.
I'm
though.
okay with
I
it,
mean,
but it was weird.
It gives this. I prefer. I mean, I don't have a problem with backups, but the fact that they're happening so frequently kind of bugs me, because it cuts the front story down so much.
Yeah.
Because they're only going to go up so many pages. You know what I mean?
Well, I did like what they were able to do with some of the backups for the recent relaunch of Action, where like the page count for the main story stayed the same, but they just added an additional backup. But sometimes they weren't very interesting. So I think this one is like it's it's nice that at least it just kind of kept the main story and didn't suddenly jump to like some random other story. But I don't know. I like the backup sometimes. It can be fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't have a problem with backups. I just they happen so frequently. So I mean, every once in a while, like Action, where it's a really good story, I enjoy seeing every page dedicated to that story. That's all.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Does that?
Well, it's not fair. What's not fair?
Mr. Terrific.
This next issue. Mr. Terrific.
Or at the very least, what happens to the surprise character in the first page. Yeah, we are at the event chapter for what the fuck? That is freaky.
Yeah, this is weird.
I
weird
don't
layout.
like that. Everyone is huge.
Yeah.
All right, we are at our event issue for the week. It's Titans Beast World number 4. This is, written by Tom Taylor with art from Lucas Mayer, colors from Romulo Fajardo Jr., and letters from Wes Abbott, with a cover from Ivan Reese, Danny Mickey, and Brad Anderson. Heck of a cover, too. So we open up in Middle Hampton. where we see none other than the return of Chester P. Runk. Fans of Jeff Johns' Flash run.
Whoa.
That was weird.
Whoa.
My phone
What'd you
just
do?
exploded.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Time to go to the genius
Uh,
bar.
Like literally?
Not literally, like it just yeah,
Just lots of notifications.
lots of noise. It just
Fair enough. All right, so
It-
Chester P. Runk is around. Fans of Jeff Johns' Flash run will remember Chester P. Runk. Or as Brandon called him, Chunk. I guess that was like his nickname.
that was his nickname.
Yeah,
good
Chunk.
old
Yeah.
Chunk.
I'm sure I must have read those issues.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's that. I mean, he doesn't really appear all that much in the Jeff Johns run.
There was at least one.
Yeah,
Was it
just the
only
one
one?
issue where he
Oh, okay.
gets shot by Plunder.
Right.
But he was
No,
in.
face it, yeah, like a dude named Chunk is one you're going to remember.
Well, he had been kind of like Wally's friend in the. I think it was the Bill Messner Loeb's run, basically before Mark Waid took over. And then I think he was also in the Wade run too. It was like more of Wally's friend in the 90s, and then just kind of disappeared. But yeah, it was fun. It was like I like seeing Chuck.
Yeah,
it's like seeing Kilgore. It's like, oh yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, you were a thing.
Yeah.
All right, so Chunk is running away from various beastly people. When Peacemaker arrives, shoots the beasts, and saves Chunk. That's when Chunk reveals that one of the beasts that Peacemaker killed was his son. Peacemaker is like a little devastated. Quickly apologizes with a "Hey, my bad." Apologizes in Peacemaker fashion, I'll say. Peacemaker is here for Chester, though, on behalf of Amanda Waller. Chester retaliates with opening the black hole in his chest, and Peacemaker tranquilizes him and drags him into a truck. Over in Ivy Town, beasts are attacking people there, but you will not find the Atom. Instead, you'll find quite the opposite. Giganta is there, and she starts defending the people instead of running away. And starts attacking the beasts, but as we know, the spores go after the stronger people around. They all leave the bodies of the humans and go straight for Giganta, so she gets turned into a giant fucking grizzly bear.
Yes,
who is now kaiju destroying Ivy Town.
Oh, man.
So Batgirl gets on comms and lets every hero know that Ivy Town is currently being demolished. So anybody available, head over there. And that includes John Kent, Nightwing, Starfire, and Cyborg, and Swamp Thing all head straight there. At Nightwing's command, Swamp Thing helps keep some buildings from falling over using the power of the green and some well-placed vines. Starfire joins John to try and take down the big bear, the Giganta bear, I guess you will. Flash is around to help run damage control and get people to safety. And all while Cyborg is trying his best to figure out a way to boom tube Giganta far, far away from Ivy Town. They eventually get the upper hand and are able to boom tube her to a baseball diamond some 5 miles away. And that is when the spores leave Giganta as they see Starfire and John, but then John's blue lightning powers are able to just electrify them on the spot. Interesting little trait. Over in Ivy Town, they are running more damage control to try and help the people that are around and help save anybody in danger. But this is also when Sergeant Steele gets on TV and reveals that he has been granted powers by the Bureau as the Bureau of Sovereignty to basically take over the investigation and, if need be, take down the Titans, as this is their fault. Even more so, take down Beast Boy himself. Speaking of that whole concept, we see where Chunk was taken by Peacemaker at Strikers Island Penitentiary, where Lex Luthor is still with Amanda Waller. And Amanda Waller's idea is she wants Lex to use his access to Justice League teleportation devices to teleport Chester straight into the heart of Garo. And then Chunk can use his black hole ability to essentially suck Garo out from the inside, essentially imploding the Garo star and saving the world in the process. Raven is on her way to try and reason with Garo one more time, but is met by Dr. Hate and subsequently stopped at the same time. All while this is happening, Amanda Waller's
I hate
plan,
Dr. Hate.
understandable. All while this is happening, Amanda Waller's plan comes to fruition. Chunk is teleported right into the middle of Garo. And sucks him out from the inside. He implodes and Garo dies as the last of his psychic ability is felt throughout all the heroes, even more so by Raven being the empath she is and having the feeling she does for Gar. Feels that pain even more. And that's where the issue ends. Not only does Garo die, but also I forgot to mention, and I feel bad I didn't mention it, Chester dies with him because they are in the middle of fucking space. He can't breathe out there. So not only do we see Gar die, but we saw Chester die, and I ain't happy about that.
What the fuck?
I know.
Now I'm definitely not going to read this book.
I thought I would have you with it when I told you Chunk was in it, but
first you tell me that Animal Man isn't even really in it. Now you're telling me that Chunk is dead, a character that like is obviously not appearing in a bunch of stuff, but is still a slightly endearing character. And they're gonna maybe kill Beast Boy. Forget this shit. I'm not reading this book. I have better things to do.
Bro. Oh man.
Look, so my only complaint, and surprise, surprise, it's a Green Lantern complaint, is the fact that Hal is up there in space. That should not be.
No, that should not be.
That should
but
not be.
Every single time we talk about a Beast World book, I completely forget that you're not reading it because of how goddamn good it is.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe that you aren't reading the main books, and it has been so good.
I get it because event fatigue, but like not only is this a Titans event, but it's a fucking good book.
I mean, I don't even know if it's event fatigue. I mean, I definitely have had perpetual event fatigue for the past year or so, but at this point, I don't know. Honestly, I feel like it's just because I'm lazy. Like real talk. I'm just because it's like 4 issues in. I think it's 6 issues, right?
Maybe might be 6, maybe 7.
6 or 6 or 7, however many it is.
I know there's at least 6.
And at this point, I'm kind of just like, do I have to like read all this other stuff? I'm like, I don't know.
You don't have to read.
I don't have to. But yeah, honestly, at this point, I think I've become lazy, and I was like, I don't know. I guess I'm not. Gonna read it.
It's 6 issues.
Yeah.
So you got to read 6 books.
It concludes this month.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's going to be a quick read.
Yeah.
But oh man.
Yeah, it was a hell of an eventful issue, I will say. Quite an interesting issue. There was a few interesting moments. I really liked the part with and the whole everything with John just appearing and him trying to deal with like collateral damage and realizing he's about to kill a bunch of people because he was fly swatted by Giganta Bear. But then Wally runs in and saves the people in the process, and he basically gives him the pep talk to get back out in the fight. Which also made me think about the Magic School Bus.
Seriously?
So he said he could hear people, but I was thinking about like Superman, or maybe it was Action Comics making me think about it. He can hear things from like far away, And I get super hearing and whatnot, but if the Magic School Bus taught me anything about sound waves,
Oh
they
my
they
God.
only go so far, and they bounce off certain things. Like, how do sound waves on the other side of the planet reach the ears of the super family? I don't.
Which Magic School Bus episode are you even talking about? Is it the
talking
one where they
about
turn
The
into a hat?
ears of the
Yes.
super family. The
Oh my
super family
God.
can hear everywhere on the world.
No, because I was just like talking about this is so stupid. But like a friend and I were literally just talking about like if you could have if you had to choose between having Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus as your teacher or Mr. Ratburn from Arthur as your teacher,
Oh,
who would you choose?
Miss Frizzle any day.
And I was like, well, the thing is like, okay, Miss Frizzle would be a really fun teacher, and you go on all these crazy adventures. But like, if you
Yes.
want to be a good student, you would probably go with Mr. Ratburn because like he might be hard, but he'd make you like actually do the work, and you'd be super prepared.
Yeah, but
He's got a point.
That was
that.
my answer.
My whole thing is learning on the job, trial by fire, and that is like Miss Frizzle's mantra.
But
You want to learn about the human body? Let's fucking go, kids. Let's
yeah,
okay.
hop right
Arthur,
in.
lay on the desk. We're gonna jump in your body for half an hour. We're gonna see how the blood cells work. We might check out your glands.
How did
let
that
you
not
know
like
like,
violate all the laws
he
of?
because he didn't
everything.
know.
It's literally just
He
like
was
yeah.
he was eating those carrot treats and his
Let's just
skin was
hop into
turning
Arnold's
orange.
body.
So
Yeah.
they went in to go fix it without letting him know, because he would have said no. He was like he was germaphobe, and they found
So they
the white blood
invaded
cells
his
would-
body without consent.
Yes,
basically.
but it was for a good cause
Oh.
and for science.
For science.
Yeah,
Yes. Absolutely.
Didn't they also do that in the episode where what's his face got sick? I just remember like
yeah. Wasn't it Ralphie?
yeah, it was Ralphie. Like
I
they
think.
went into his medicine and they were just like touring his body and it was like here's where the bacteria multiplies when you're sick. And I was like, how can this possibly be legal? And more to the point, how did all the students sign off on this? They're like, yeah, let's just fucking
They don't.
Ralphie's fucking
They
oh,
trust
Ralphie's
the
sick, let's
adult
just
in the
hop in.
room. They don't
It's
sign
like
off on shit. She
at
says,
the
"Okay,
beginning
class,
of the year, I
jump in
tell
the
you,
bus." And like, "Yes, Miss Frizzle, let's go."
Oh yeah, okay.
Where are we going?
at the beginning of the year, she sends out a kind of a blanket. Your children will be going on many field trips. Will you sign your permission slip
Yeah.
now?
I swear one of their
Permission slip
parents.
is
They will-
actually
they
a
will be-
paper.
I can't
They will
remember
be
which
science
one.
based.
I can't remember which one, but I swear one of the parents was literally like a lawyer. And I'm like, if they sent them release forms or whatever at the beginning of the school year, they'd have to be the worst fucking lawyer on the planet because there's no way you could sign off on that and be like, yeah, my child will go on, crazy adventures. Or maybe they just thought
Science field trips? Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
maybe they just thought Miss Frizzle was really eccentric and they're like, they're not actually going to go in a volcano or whatever. They're not actually going to go into clouds and become
Oh
rain.
no. That's why they
No.
just put the
Volcano.
blanket field trip permission slip. That's
Yeah.
like we're gonna be going on many field trips,
Yeah.
all science based. It
It's
will
not.
be science field trips.
They got to word it a certain
Please
way.
sign here.
We will be learning about this, we'll be learning about the
Mhm.
insects. So we're going to go to a forest and see some insects. We'll be learning about
I
volcanoes.
see.
And the parents will just think, oh yeah, baking soda and vinegar. Yeah.
Yeah. My child's not going to turn into a bug.
No. We're not going to violate conventions and invade
No.
bodies.
Not gonna give a bunch of
We're not
9-year-olds
gonna
LSD.
make a fucking island. Oh my God. Do you remember that episode of the Magic School Bus where they literally make an island? Or it's just like something like that where they talk about like,
Those
the
little
underwater
kids were tripping balls,
yeah,
man. That's what
it was like underwater volcanoes when they erupt, the magma cools into a hard state and then turns into an island or something, and then just like crazy shit like that. I'm probably misremembering the plot, but
Yeah,
No.
it sounds familiar.
It turns into Ignatius Rock, and then silt builds up onto sand, and then boom,
yeah,
you got an
it's
island.
something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's science. I don't know if that's how it went in the show, but that's how it worked in the real world.
I gotta find this episode, but anyway.
Yeah. But yeah,
Anyway,
so like
Why are we
that's
talking about the
why
Magic School Bus again?
super hearing makes
because
no fucking
Titans
sense.
Beast World.
Super hearing is a lie because Magic School Bus taught me sound waves don't work that way.
Magic School Buses. That, oh my God. That's why Superman hates magic.
Because it denies his powers. Miss
Yeah.
Frizzle is his ultimate
Yeah.
enemy.
It's his ultimate kryptonite.
Miss Frizzle is Brainiac confirmed.
Confirmed.
It
Confirmed.
there's always been questions about Miss Frizzle's sanity, but honestly, she's got to be a Kaluan. That's the
Well, now
only
we know.
explanation.
Now we have the answer.
Super sanity.
Super sad. Yeah. But right. Beast World number 4. I'm sad Chunk died. I'm sad Gar died. I'm sad for Raven. I'm sad for Chunk twice because his son died. I'm sad for all the people of Ivy Town. I'm sad for John for having to deal with the stress.
I'm hearing
But
a lot
man,
of I'm sad.
Am I hyped for that blue lightning power? Holy shit. This is like the long-term storytelling that Tom Taylor's got going on with this blue power, and I'm really excited to see where the payoff may potentially be. But all in all, it was an interesting issue. I'm giving it a 8.75 out of 10. Maybe a 9 if it wasn't for the super hearing kind of distracting me.
You're so concerned about science. Can't you just
Yes.
enjoy the story?
No. Josh
No.
agrees. Actually, sound waves don't travel across the planet.
There's no way you can.
Where
pick
does
them
that
up.
come from?
Which one?
Actually. That's a
Um,
comic book guy from Simpsons? No.
So that voice I copied from a bunch of YouTubers I used to watch that would always like they'd make that voice, and me and my friends used to make that voice, the really phlegmy voice.
Yeah, it's just like the stereotypical nerd voice. I don't even really know where
Yeah.
it comes from, but
Yeah, and actually is like just an old term, but comic book guy did it too, and his voice is a little more composed,
a little more refined.
Actually, that is issue number 162, not the first appearance you think it is. But
My mint inbox Xena.
yeah, and
Please.
actually is
actually
also
Xerox.
yeah.
It's pronounced Xerox.
Yeah.
You troglodyte.
Get it right or get out.
Out.
Yeah. Also, actually is an awesome game show on Dropout TV.
Yeah.
Which I still have not seen. But
What?
You haven't watched
No,
it?
man.
I enjoy it.
You gotta watch.
I
it. It's
enjoy it
great.
when like I'm just like sitting there like reading a comic book or a book or doing whatever. I'll have it on, and it is hilarious.
yeah, well, I remember you guys were talking about it.
It's
but I
like
just-
lazy funny, but it's funny.
That's
It's a
cool.
good time.
Yeah. And it's right up any nerd's alley,
Yep.
especially if you know a lot about pop culture and sci-fi.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Like they make me feel stupid.
Yeah. Do you know the concept though, Brandon?
Remind me of it again.
Okay, so we'll have 3 contestants. The host, Mike Trapp, will read a statement about something in pop culture, Battlestar Galactica, DC Comics, a video game, Zelda, who knows. They'll just read a statement, and there's one thing about that statement that's wrong. And sometimes it's
Even
obvious,
just slightly
and
off.
sometimes it's very vague, and almost like vindictive with how vague it is. Like it's like you need to know like every bit of lore about this to really understand what we're getting at here.
So what we're getting at here is that not only is it entertaining, but it's also a learning opportunity.
Yeah. And sometimes the statement is like we added a character in this statement who's the wrong character, and sometimes it's actually the shirt wasn't green, it was blue.
Are you required to say actually when you respond?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Jeopardy rules.
That's
So you have to say
perfect. That's perfect.
actually, or you
Oh,
don't get the
God.
points. Like it's
Well, I
happened.
like that they really
people
like
said the
leaned into
answer,
it. Yeah.
and Trap goes, "You didn't say I'm actually," and then the other two were like furiously pushing the button.
Yeah. I definitely gotta check that out.
Yeah.
It's good times.
Mhm.
So was most of Titans Beast World. Some sad shit happened in it. It was just another chapter in a really good arc that I have been enjoying 4 issues in. Plus, most of the tie-ins are pretty good. But it was so much more too. I felt it when the bomb went off. Something felt ominous about him dying. Like maybe the plan is to keep him dead for a while or to bring him back in some other different way or form. I don't know, but I was open mouth surprised when Garo exploded.
Maybe he'll come back as part of the green.
Or the red or
red.
both.
Red.
Maybe that's where Animal Man comes in.
Maybe, and it might just get me to read this book, but I don't hear about any more Animal Man, so I don't know.
I'm going to point something out to you that the two of you obviously missed. I'll point it out in my favorite moments here in a minute, but
Okay.
So there could be some hardcore underlying stuff going on in this book that we may have just picked out. But yeah, like I said, open mouth surprise when Garo exploded. The art from Meyer and Fajardo Jr. Like I said about Fajardo before, he's always on point. Meyer's good. This looks amazing. Everything does, from Giganta as a bear, Blue Lightning John, and the explosion of Gar. It was all amazing artwork. I loved this issue. I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Right on. Brandon.
Yeah, I loved this issue. It was so good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Infinity out of 10.
Ooh. Right on.
Is that good?
Infinity out of 10.
Infinity out of 10.
What about on a good day?
Infinity plus out of 10. Infinity times infinity.
Infinity and beyond.
Yeah.
That's not a number.
No, but it's my love for this book is unquantifiable. It keeps scaling in numbers forever.
You know what, Josh? You're not a number.
Oh,
so like
good.
your peak may be at like 9 out of 10, but mine goes 10, 11, 12, 13, and then just continues until the scale
forever.
That's
until
how much I love this
time.
book that I haven't read.
Which 10 minutes ago, you like were ready to burn it. All right, well, with that, we kind of already did our top 3 in the main show, so we want to do a favorite moment from the books we talked about. Josh, I'm very curious what you
yes Josh, how'd you kick it off? You gotta think about it.
I mean, in the top 3 in the first 2, Titans Beast World number 4 took 1. Action Comics followed up, but my favorite moment, number 1, honestly, the oh my god moment of Gar actually dying. It got me. I don't know if it got you guys, but it got me. I did not think it was gonna happen. I certainly didn't think it was gonna happen quite so violently. Damn good writing that, but also, so Giganta was there. Now this might seem like loosely stitching, but it's a few things. Giganta was in here, right? A villain from Wonder Woman who Gail Simone wrote, also appeared in the Wonder Woman book.
Oh no!
Giganta turned into a bear. Now hold on, because it even gets more. It takes place in Ivy Town, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it takes place in Ivy Town. Gail Simone is the one who introduced the idea that Poison Ivy has seasonal depression because of her attachment to the green. And then that idea shortly after that was just completely fucking abandoned. And so it was like Ivy getting destroyed. I think there was some big old fucking Tom Taylor, Gail Simone energy going on in this book.
That's funny. That's not where I was expecting you to go with that reference, because you mentioned Ivy Town, and I was like, is he going to talk about Adam? Because I know Gail Simone created or co-created Ryan Choi, the all-new Adam, who would go on to be a student at Ivy Town. Oh,
No,
wait, is he a student?
actually,
No, he's a teacher. My bad. I think. I can't remember. Something like that.
I think it was
But
like
anyway.
a TA or something.
Yeah.
well, Gail Simone's a bear. That's what I was going with.
Yeah. I didn't even catch that. That's a good fucking pull.
Oh yeah.
That's my
Which-
favorite moment is Josh's explanation of that. All right, Brandon, do you have one?
I think I'm just gonna go with the safe option, and I'll pick the double page spread of Superman from the. I don't know where exactly, but in Action Comics, where it's shortly after like that title page or whatever, and it's just really well drawn. Yeah, not much else to say about it. It just kind of speaks for itself.
Right. I do have one. I just got to look at the page one more time because I forget exactly what it was that made me love it. It's like the first or second page of Action Comics. Un second.
No. Do it now.
Oh, do you fuck?
Do it now.
Right. It's so yeah, the very first page, explaining the whole peace and tranquility. Peace and tranquility of Xerox and how beautiful it is, and then just cuts to Bizarro. He arrived 15 minutes ago. He's already forgotten why. And he's just beating the shit out of people. He doesn't know why. He's just like, yeah, you.
Why
I'm so
not?
very happy.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. But then you find out like there's something a little more darker for why he forgot, and you're like, well, maybe that's not as funny as I thought it was. Yeah, but at the time, it's hilarious. Yes, that was my favorite moment. Right on.
Well,
Sweet.
That's right.
indeed.
So
Sweet.
Sweet.
Deal. Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Dude.
What's mine say?
Radical.
What's mine say? That movie is great for like the first half, and then it gets way up its own ass about shit.
Yeah. See, that movie, I believe, was designed to sit down and smoke like 4 joints,
Yeah.
flip it on, make it through the first half of the movie, and then fall asleep for the second half.
Like super stoned, so like you get to the aliens, you're like, whoa,
what the fuck?
Because if you're straight sober, you're like, this is fucking dumb. But if you're
This
like
is fucking dumb.
if you're super high, you're gonna love it.
Yeah. Aliens, I can dig it.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Of course, they're the ones that stole his car. Who else would it be?
Oh, they're the ones that put us here, right?
Yeah,
That's what that guy with the hair says.
wasn't the woman at the Chinese place clearly?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Did I tell you? I vaguely, I might be wrong, but I think they're looking at a sequel for that.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I don't like. Anyway,
Ashton Kutcher is way too old for that stuff.
So Sean William Scott, but
yeah, I mean, he's way too old for anything.
Yeah. Okay, but I digress. Anyway, we'll call it here.
We'll call it there.
Yeah,
we're gonna call it everywhere. Thanks everybody for watching. We will be back next week covering all of DC's weekly releases. Same Geek time, same Geek channel. And that is the show, folks. We're going to get out of here, so you'll have to as well. Be careful out there, and remember, in the Geek Matrix, everybody has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.
And better yet, thanks for listening, not watching.
That what he said.
Although if you watch, you'll probably have more context for like the weird random shit we say about
pro-
things
pro-
we're doing on
The
screen.
problem is this is the bonus show that doesn't go video.
Oh,
Oh. Maybe we should just start doing the bonus show for free anyway.
Mm.
Anyway, all right, end recording.
Peace.